Good evening. Let's call to order. Roll call.
Nancy Kupka.
Present.
Terry Pevsich.
Here.
Dan Nicholas.
Here.
Rick Pavanato.
Here.
Don Runner.
Here.
And Ellie Flynn. Thank you.
We have a quorum. Let's stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. We are going to go. We're going to have a student presentation from North High School, but those individuals are at another meeting, so they will be joining us shortly. So we're going to go forward to the student board member questions and comments. Ellie.
I'm just going to talk about a couple of things that are going on coming up in North. So right now we're doing the Giving Tree, which is just some community service we're doing where you can adopt a family and purchase gifts for them to make sure they have gifts under the tree that they might not have had otherwise. And I know NHS is really involved in that this year, which they haven't been in the past as much. And a bunch of other clubs, classes, and individual groups of friends and things like that. This year we're also doing some things leading up to finals just to help the student body prepare academically and mentally and manage their stress and things like that. So the Student Advisory Council at North is partnering with Erica's Lighthouse Club, which is the mental awareness and mental health club, to do some positive notes. We're calling them encouragements. So we're just doing like mints attached to like a positive note and handing them out the day before finals. And then we are also doing which we've done for the past few years, where we have the late start, the last late start before finals. Students are able to come in early, even the ones who take the bus, because we have 2 buses running, and they're able, and all the teachers are available for them to get help, which I think the students really appreciate, especially the ones that take the buses that aren't usually able to come in early and get help. So those are just the 3 other things I wanted to touch on.
Good.
Do you know about how many families are getting gifts, or how many individuals are getting gifts?
I am not sure.
That's okay. Still a lovely. It's a lovely thing.
Yeah.
The students do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, I think that's great.
Okay. Well, then let's move on with the board workshop, the curriculum proposals.
Gina?
So we have 3 course proposals, 1 coming from Fine Arts, Advanced Theater Craft, and 2 from Science. 1 is a Project Lead the Way course, Principles in Biomedical Science, and the other is Innovations in STEM Research. And to share information about those courses with you, I have our department chairs. I have Glenn Williams from South will present on the theater course. Rare cannot be with us tonight. And our science chairs, Mike Hines and Karen Etter, will present on the 2 science courses. So with that, I'll turn it over to Glenn.
Thank you for hearing us this evening. I extend my greetings from Brer, who is hip deep in light cues for the Mosaic right now. 5:30 and 7 o'clock tomorrow night, if you're interested.
Yeah.
And then Thursday night at South High School. Sorry for the shameless plug in that regard.
It's worth it. They're wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, they are.
We're very excited to share this course initially for 2 reasons. One, this is the first curriculum proposal that has come from Fine Arts, where theater and stagecraft are in the oversight of Fine Arts. So this is kind of new groundbreaking territory for us. We're excited to share this for you. We're also excited that the specific group of students to which this is targeted, we think this is going to do an amazing job of igniting their passion and sending them deeper into what it is they want to do. So the purpose of this proposal is to find students who are passionate for theater design and all aspects of that. It could be light, sound, could be building, and to give them an independent study forum where they would work directly with an instructor and apply theory and practice together. So they would design and then implement different aspects of theater, craft, and design depending on what is the student's interest level. This course, the genesis of this course came from Downers Grove North. The South faculty have vetted it and fully support this in terms of what it can do for students. This class will look differently at South High School depending on how the master facility plan evolves. Right now, there's a lovely black box at North High. I was there for the One Acts this weekend. It's a great place to see productions. The class would take place in that room, so the students would work on the productions and do it like that. South High School doesn't have that capability yet, but in the near future might. So we're hopeful that in a few years this will look identical in terms of what it's able to offer for students at both campuses. But again, a very small group of students who would go deep into different aspects of theater design and stagecraft depending on what the needs of the show are and what are the interests of the student.
Okay. Very good.
So do you have any questions for Glenn? He has some meetings he needs to get back to South High for.
Okay.
So if we can take questions at this point for this course.
Doesn't seem like there are any.
No, I think it's exciting.
It would be a handful, 5 or less initially. Yeah.
It'll be combined.
Yes.
So the theater craft and the advanced will be in the same section.
Yeah, so arts teachers typically function in that world where they combine sections. So it wouldn't be an independent standalone thing. These students would be working alongside an already allocated section.
Thank you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
Thank you.
Very exciting.
You bet.
Yeah.
Good luck tomorrow. We'll be welcoming you.
Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah.
Take all you can get.
Those students just came in. Do you want to?
So now we have 2 courses from science. The first one is Principles of Biomedical Science. I'll turn it over to our department chairs.
Right, thank you for hearing us. So you guys are familiar with Project Lead the Way, with the success that we've had in our district with Project Lead the Way Engineering. Mike and I investigated the pathway for biomedical sciences. So Project Lead the Way offers different pathways for different age levels of students. And at the high school level, they offer an engineering pathway and a biomedical pathway. So it's completely independent of the current courses that we offer, but similar to what we know to be true about Project Lead the Way is that they're problem-based courses that are designed to kind of excite students about fields related to STEM areas of employment, right? And so for the biomedical pathway, it starts with a class called Principles of Biomedical Science, which is a problem-based course that leads students through the investigation of the causes related to some fictional character's death. It allows students to engage in some activities related to what professionals in the biomedical sciences would engage in. It allows them to kind of pop between different sources of information, like an autopsy report and a medical report and things like that. And it gets students a component of a dissection experience. So we think this pathway is pretty promising for a number of reasons. But right now, we offer a lot of our elective courses to students after they have taken biology, chemistry, and physics. And we propose that this course be available to all students at any level of enrollment in District 99. So Principles of Biomedical Science, you could advance the slide, would be for students in any grade level with an interest in the biomedical field. And so they take that concurrently with any other classes that they're taking. And we just think it provides an exciting opportunity for students to explore this field, get an introduction into the STEM fields, and get an introduction into some of the skills that would be applicable in the workforce. Questions related to this?
So why would this class not meet graduation requirements for science, and what would it take to make it meet a requirement for science?
Yeah, that's a good question. So currently we offer biology, chemistry, and physics as our pathway for students to get college ready, and it meets the requirements for 2 general lab sciences, like the state of Illinois requires, and it satisfies a lot of the prerequisites for universities who have required classes. Some of them, every university is different, right? So oftentimes we see like the courses of biology, chemistry, and physics in the required components for that. This class has some overlap with biology, but doesn't cover topics like evolution or ecology and some of the other skill sets that we have in those classes that are gen ed requirements. So we wouldn't anticipate this class ever becoming a class that would replace biology for students, right? It's an elective course, so students would get elective credit for that, but it's that elective pathway to give them more exposure and interest,
But
to
it would
explore
show
that.
up as a elective science course on whatever transcript for college.
Right, but we don't see it as something that would replace those needs in either the graduation requirement or the college entrance requirement, right? Yeah.
Right.
Does that answer your question?
Yep.
Okay, good.
I think this is very cool, and I think the whole idea of, you can only go so far with memorizing classifying species. I mean, I think this is great. It will get people interested in the field and get a little taste of it before they really get into biology or the medicine.
Yeah, I think that the curriculum seems to be very engaging. And I think you guys have heard from some of the Project Lead the Way classes that it really engages students in the problem-based learning opportunities and gets students really engaged in that kind of field, that practice. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's very exciting that we can offer classes so that students can get a feel for a lot of different things, if architecture and engineering and to decide if they want to do that for their life's work. Because to me, I think it's very difficult for a 17 or 18-year-old to have to pick that for their entire life. Because look at how many change their majors once they get into college. So, it's really frightening. So.
Do you have an A&P class on the books or no?
Yes, we currently teach anatomy and physiology at both campuses.
Did we develop this, or did we model this on somebody else's course?
No, this is a Project Lead the Way course. So Project Lead the Way designs these courses and develops the curriculum and the end of course assessments and runs the faculty training for that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So this is great. Very good.
Mike, did you want to? Mr. Hyde?
Mike has the next one.
Are we good? Yeah? Okay.
It's good to hear your interest in students being able to pursue their passion and an interest in looking at college and career readiness. As you know, over the past 6-7 years, we've implemented NGSS in the science curriculum. NGSS has a 3-part component to it where it's science and engineering practices, cross-cutting concepts, as well as...
What NGSS stands for.
Excuse me?
Let them know what NGSS stands for.
The Next Generation Science Standards. So that's the, unlike Common Core that was adopted by the federal government across all 50 states, NGSS has been implemented by 26 states. Illinois was an early adopter of the Next Generation Science Standards. So as part of that, we have had pockets of research showing up in our classrooms. Our AP Environmental Science at North and currently, or previously at South, did the Illinois Science and Technology Institute STEM Challenge. As you can see, these are the partnerships that are going on around District 99 at this point in time. We have started to forge quality partnerships with people from around the area, a mentoring program within the context of our current curriculum areas and in a lot of our co-curricular or extracurricular activities. At South, they partnered last year with Lewis University, and I'll let Karen describe that just a little bit more, in which they worked after school. What was the exact project for that they...
There were a number of projects.
Yes.
So we had some students exploring ways to get a plane windshield to deflect laser light so that it was safer for pilots, less of a distraction. We had some students working on biological sources of energy. They were trying to make a self-powered backpack that would filter water in places where energy is not available and clean water resources are not available. So we had a variety of pockets of students working on different aspects of those projects, partnered with some graduate students. They were extending their research from Lewis University. So very cool stuff, yeah.
And then at North High School, this is our 5th year of Jeff Grant working with Dr. Andrew Hipp from the Morton Arboretum, in which he comes into our classroom about once every 3 weeks, and they grow plants and they study different types of grasses. And their research that they're pulling out of our AP bio classes go into his actual research at really the global level for his research. And in AP Environmental Science at North, this is our 4th year of it, and this year, as it was last year, Commonwealth Edison is our industry partner. And last year we had kids that came up with a solar-powered bus to which the roofs on school buses had solar panels on them, so that in a crisis situation they might be able to charge up the batteries. You could pull them in and they would become the power source for that. And they got to go present that down at Motorola last year as well. So with that said, we have pockets of research going on. What I promised the AP Environmental Science people, the teachers, Mr. Ruffalo and Mr. Weissar, when we put that in, is that it wouldn't take away from the AP Environmental Science curriculum. It has to some degree, but our teachers were allowed to be in that process, design it so now it fits in with our curriculum. What we feel now is, because this is starting to grow at the level that we feel that it has, it does rate to the level of becoming its own course. And so we would like to see an innovation in STEM research class implemented where students could follow their passion and take this over multiple years. As you can see up there, it's for 10th, 11th, and 12th graders. It would be repeatable. Again, it would be a science elective in which they could pursue something in which they would be supported with the mentoring platform that we have. Gina's been very good over the last few years to us to help support that monetarily, financially, and we believe that it's paid off for those students. When we look at what kind of things kids write about in their college applications, anytime they can put an independent research project of some sort and the benefit of that on there, that gets them a leg up on some of the people that are around us. And schools are doing this across the region here. This isn't something new that we've invented. A lot of times it starts in the summer, it starts as extracurricular, and we'd like to see it put into the curricular arena in D99 science.
Very good. Oh my. It's exciting.
I know.
I had a comment. I was going to say I absolutely love it. I love partnering with our community. These are the next employees at some point for our community industry. So I'm really excited about what you guys are doing.
Exciting stuff. The bus idea is really inventive.
Cool.
There's
so much surface area on top of the bus. They thought about doing the bus barns and the buses themselves as portable batteries.
the kids thought of that. I mean, I shouldn't even call them kids. It's not.
Well, it's really neat.
Smarter than me.
It's really neat because on a regular basis, and I think you saw it one day, we have somewhere between 13 to 15 ComEd sustainability engineers sit in our classrooms with our kids all day and work with them. They come in, and then this mentor matching engine, I call it Facebook for nerds. So it's like they get to partner. If you click on one type of thing and they click on one type of thing, it puts those people together, and the mentors are all vetted through IMSA's process. So the kid can't communicate with the mentor one-on-one. The teacher has to be involved in all of that. So we have the platform there for supporting that teacher that teaches this class. They will be supported because they're not going to be an expert in everything that the kids bring forward. And then we'll lay the foundation for what real research. The first quarter should be kids going through the research process. What does real, true, strong research look like? We're not just going to let them in and say, okay, what are you going to research right now? What do you want to work on? So.
Yeah, I'm going out on a limb here, but I suspect that we all support this. Wow, great stuff. Great stuff.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for all of your efforts.
Thank you. All right, so these items come back at the next board meeting for approval. So if you have any questions between now and then, please contact Gina and myself, and we'll get you any answers to any questions that you might have. Go to student perspectives.
Are we ready?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, thank you.
our students
Thank
are
you.
here.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Student perspectives.
They have arrived. They were actually getting ready for the Mosaic concert tomorrow, so it's a little bit of a theme. So I'm going to actually let Mark Marandola, our Student Activities Director, give a little bit of background. Thanks.
Good evening.
Hi.
It's my pleasure to introduce to you these North High students who were chosen to participate in the WSC, the West Suburban Conference, Student Leadership Conference, which was held at the Stevens Convention Center in Rosemont on November 20th. I should mention that South also participated in this leadership conference, along with the other 12 schools that make up the West Suburban Conference. Nearly 500 students from across the WSC schools attended this event, including 30 students from North and about 30 students from South. I've asked Emma Larson, Delaney Durbin, and Liam Johnson to share their experience with you this evening.
Hi, I'm Emma Larson.
And I'm Liam.
And we were leaders to be a part of the West Suburban Leadership Conference, which was really exciting. So we actually joined or participated our junior year, and it was just really exciting. It was just a really lively experience. We got to meet a bunch of people from different schools, different environments, and it was really exciting to be asked back to be leaders because we got to really, we got to know a lot more people from different schools, and we got to really experience a lot of different leadership styles with them, and then we got to teach smaller groups, and that was just really exciting for us.
So the small group that I led was the leadership cycle. So we had 3 sessions of the small groups, and it was all kids from different schools, and then I led with someone else from a different school as well. And that was really interesting because we got to kind of teach about how there's different styles of leadership. You might be an extrovert leading, loud and proud and upfront, or you could be an introvert and helping from behind with great ideas.
And I led the inclusion part, and we just taught how we're too quick to judge because a lot of people at our school, and we know a lot of other schools, are just really, they kind of just judge people like judging a book by its cover. You just see them and you are too quick to judge. So it was really good. We taught them how that you have to get to know someone before you can just jump quick to conclusions.
And I feel like the leadership conference really helped that because it's kids from all across the conference. So you really got to know people. And it was a great chance to meet some people from South as well, because usually we don't have that many interactions with them.
Yeah.
And then Delaney?
I'm Delaney. I'm a sophomore. I was invited to participate in this, so I wasn't a leader. And for me, it was really an awesome experience to learn about the main components of being a leader, and what Emma and Liam talked about, how you just judge people so quickly. And it was amazing to be put in a group with other people from other schools, because when you went into the group, you didn't know anyone, and everyone was kind of in the shared experience of over the course of the day getting closer with the people in their group. And to see all these schools come together with the common purpose of just becoming a better leader was really an awesome thing. And by the end of the day, I had so many ideas of how I could take what I learned and implement it in my daily life. And since it was taught by students, student leaders like Emma and Liam, it was really accessible information for everyone that was there. And I feel even though teachers are amazing at what they do, hearing it from someone that's not an adult, someone that's more your peer, is really impactful and special. And so yeah, if you guys have any questions for any of us, we're here to answer them. So yeah.
Are you available to lead any leadership sessions for us? We probably could benefit from that every now and then.
Yeah, I can give you my card.
I was curious for the leaders, for Liam and I'm sorry. Emma. I was going to call you Delaney, but you're Delaney. Did you have to go through training for facilitating small groups, or how did it work?
Yes, we met twice. So we met 2 weeks before for during school, and then we met after school the day before the conference for
maybe
4 hours or something like that in the convention center. And that's when we broke off with our partners and practiced leading it.
Yeah.
And then we had also been through it last year, so we kind of knew a similar experience, but it was slightly different.
You mentioned being able to take this back to the school and put something in motion. So how is there any sort of follow-up to this convention where you maybe get together, you're just the North students that went, and to maybe unpack some of the things and share some of those experiences with each other?
We do not have any follow-up that's really formal, but we just try to bring back what we learned from each session. So since I taught the inclusion process, we just try to follow through with that just in our everyday life. So not judging people, not like jumping to conclusions, but there's no formal thing that brings all of the people who were asked, like Delaney, to be a part of this conference, to just like talk about what they learned. So that's probably something that we want to maybe bring back.
Yeah, and even though there's no formal thing, like, you know the people that went because you like rode on the bus with them and you came back with them, you saw them at lunch, so you can still talk to them, and a lot of us knew each other already, so like even afterwards if you see someone in the hall you can be like, hey, what's up, and if you have a chance to talk to them, just be like, hey, have you like noticed anything different since this conference or anything like that. So even though there's no formal thing, I think there is a chance for it. Yeah.
I just wanted to mention something about this as well, kind of touching on what you were just talking about. I went to the leadership conference last year when I was a junior, and I think that one thing that makes it really good for bringing it back to North is that the students that are chosen are all involved in different activities, so like it's not one concentrated group of people, so like when you bring it back, it's able to like diffuse all the ideas into like the fine arts and the sports and the different leadership specific groups and things like that. So I think that's really one way that it comes back to North.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, summer school report?
School report. Gina's got this one as well. It's the Gina show tonight.
Not yet. So each year, we bring to the board a report that talks a little bit about the previous year's summer school, as well as recommendations. Tim Tilton is here. We did sneak in on you. Okay. Tim is here. Tim, I think, has been director. Is it 11 years? I was thinking about this.
It's been a while.
11 years. He has been the director of summer school, and we're very fortunate to have him. So Tim's going to talk through what summer school looked like last summer, and then I'll talk about our recommendations for this summer. Okay.
All right. Thank you for your time tonight. Happy to once again report that we had a successful summer school program in 2018. Here are a few of the highlights. Summer school was held at South Campus this year, and for the second year now, we utilized the 4-day school week, Monday through Thursday. Classes were held from 8 a.m. till 2 p.m. Lunch was, limited lunch menu was available each day for students. In our academic program, we had about 271 students participate, up a little bit from last year of 244. We were able to, once again, provide paraprofessionals in all math classes to offer additional assistance for students working through their math classes. And we had a very well-attended freshman bridge program. Once again, this is an incoming freshman program that students benefit from the preparations of the rigors of math and English. Half math, half of the day, math half of the day, English the other half. Our Keys to Academic Success program once again ran a nice healthy number again this year. Students that chose to come in and study up on organizational structure, note-taking, reading strategies, things like that in order to better prepare for all types of curriculum. We again had the AP chemistry prep class with 22 students enrolled this year in order to prepare for the rigors of AP Chem. And for the first time, an AP physics prep class was offered. A very healthy number of 25 students signed up and participated in that in order to prepare themselves for AP physics. Driver's Ed, we had 53 students complete the program, and we were once again able to administer the state behind-the-wheel waiver test for students that did qualify for that. In our credit recovery program, which was a format, an online format, where students are recovering classes that are not able to be recovered in the summer school program. We offered 2 different sessions for that, once again, for flexibility of scheduling and for students who were participating in classroom summer school classes, and then did the online program afterwards. 34 students completed a total of 50 classes, 50 different separate classes for some of them towards graduation. 12 of them were able to graduate after completing that program, where they normally would not have been able to. So once again, we're very thankful for a combined effort. The staff in the building all work together in order to run basically a mini school year for about 6 weeks. So very thankful for that. And before Gina goes over recommendations for next year, are there any questions that I can answer?
No questions. I love the idea of a prep class. If we, I think by several, we had those for adult. I need one of those for adult.
Right.
I love that idea. Then we could take a STEM class and the theater class.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we have several recommendations for this year's summer school. You may recall a year or two ago, we started increasing summer school salaries by CPI. So rather than coming to the board every 2, 3, 4 years requesting an increase, we increase it annually, or at least recommend an increase annually based on CPI. And that is both for the summer school teachers as well as our summer school director. So I am recommending an increase in the stipend from $2,933 to $2,995 per semester for teachers, and then an increase in the director stipend from $9,202 to $9,395 for both semesters. In addition, requesting an increase in tuition. We've charged $200 for, I think it's the last 5 years now. And I'm requesting that we increase it to $210 for the in-district students, and then the out-of-district students, we've traditionally had it double, which would be $420. So an increase in tuition of $10 for our in-district students and $20 for our out-of-district. And then I know we're going to talk about the summer calendar later this evening, but also recommending that we adopt the summer school calendar. Semester 1, both would be 11 days, both semesters 11 days. Semester 1 would be June 11th through 27th, Monday through Thursday, and then semester 2, July 1st through the 18th, also Monday through Thursday, with no school on the 4th of July.
I had a couple of questions about this. I noticed that the summer school attendance has gone down over the years, meaning there are less people attending summer school. Is that a good thing, meaning more people are meeting the academic standards, or is it more so potentially the classes that they're looking for aren't there? I just noticed, so I was curious about that.
So it really depends on the student whether or not it's a good thing or not. I can say that we've worked very hard on interventions with students so that, and the board may recall from reporting this many times, the number of students that are earning passing grades has increased. So we have fewer students for which to take courses they make up. We do have students sometimes sign up for courses that we don't end up running. If we have 3 or 4 students, maybe an example if you remember one, Mr. Tilton, from last summer?
Sure, probably English 4 has
English
been
4?
a class.
It's a good example. And I know we've had PE in the past when we've run that. So if we only have a handful of students, we can't offer the course. However, Mr. Tilton does what he can to put them in the credit recovery program then. So that's also helpful for students, particularly those that are seniors.
And how many students was it again to run a class? I did know that.
We don't have really a set number in summer school.
Okay.
It literally is a give and take, where Tim and I often sit on a telephone for a long time trying to figure out what courses to run. We look at students. If a student needs more than one class, we look, could we put him in the other course? We look at how many students need this course for graduation. So there's a lot of different factors. And sometimes we run courses with very small enrollments because the course is needed for graduation or to matriculate to the next level in a sequence. So it really depends. It's not the same as the school year where, we kind of have a set number we're looking for. Summer school is a little bit different. And oftentimes, because there's late registration, students will sign up. We'll be in better shape, I think, this year with the school year and if this calendar is approved. But oftentimes, they're signing up just a couple of days. So we're literally making a decision for 2 or 3 days from now.
Last question I have about it. Out of district, I noticed that what constitute, and I notice the numbers are lower for out of district, which kind of
Yeah, they're usually really low.
Yeah. What constitute, how do we constitute it? What, we're offering summer school to out of district kids, right?
You can sign up.
Okay.
So a student who maybe doesn't attend our school district, but maybe a surrounding one could sign up for a course that we take and perhaps transfer it back to their school, just like we have a board policy where students can transfer in 2 credits. Their school may also have a similar policy, so they would take summer school with us if their school doesn't offer it.
But it's contingent on what their school is allowing them to do, right?
Certainly in terms of, that doesn't involve us. In terms of transferring the credit back, that would be on their home school to determine.
Thank you.
Yeah, we can't dictate that.
I have a question. I'm going to ask it, it's in the same vein, but now that we're fully air conditioned, is there any thought of?
It's important.
It's important in summer school.
I see the numbers go up because of that.
We might.
That's where I'm getting at here, and I bring it up every year. Is there any way where maybe we could rethink summer school and stop focusing on credit recovery and think about maybe expanding it now that we're offering all these extra classes? Maybe some type of concurrent where if you take summer school honors chem, you sign up in the fall for AP Chem. So you'd get the lab component, but you'd learn the material so that you'd be successful enough, and maybe do summer school for 8 weeks instead of 6 weeks. Or maybe honor, I don't know how the honors bio would work into AP bio, but I know every year I ask this, and I always get, no one ever says, fast track out, but maybe if you did a concurrent enrollment then in the fall with that AP level class, maybe you'd have a little bit more support from maybe the department. They left before I could ask them this, but I'd rather have this conversation with you and you think about it. They don't need to be on this right now, but I guess I'm thinking, is there a different way we could look at summer school now that we're fully air conditioned?
Yeah.
And we're going to have expansion going on, but I think those parts of the schools are still going to be functional. It's not like we're shutting down the school. And just look at it from a different point for maybe 15 kids, 20 kids maybe, that, okay, here's a core group of kids that are good students and they want to max out a little bit. Because there's only so many spots in a day. And so we're offering all these great classes, but there's no way the kids are going to get to them till they take all the requirements unless we allow some avenue for them to kind of move ahead in the lanes that we've already set they have to go into before they can get to these classes. And so I just thought, is there a different way we could maybe look at this? And I just dawned on me, maybe if you put a contingent upon enrollment into that next AP level class then. I don't know, but I see this as for some kids, we could tap, there's got to be kids out there that would jump at this opportunity. They're already coming for the AP Chem prep class. They're already coming for the physics prep class. And I think those are great classes. But I guess I'm just trying to say, how can we help a student open up their schedule junior, senior year to take some of these electives we're putting on the books, but theoretically, there's probably no way they can get there if they have to make some hard decisions maybe to help them say, okay, I'm just saying as an example, maybe I don't take fine arts so I can take Project Lead the Way, or maybe now I can fast track through and still take Project Lead the Way and still maintain all those great fine art programs we offer. Because it does come down to, you got to choose a pathway.
Only so many periods of the day.
And we don't offer PE exemptions, so it's like, is there anything that we can do to maybe help a certain, again, I don't think it's going to be hundreds of kids, but.
Well, and if I can just add to that, which I think is a great question, a great idea, is I was wondering if, because we do have all these, prep classes, et cetera, if we could somehow maybe market to some of the surrounding districts to bring some of their students in.
That's why I asked about what's the out of district.
Usually it's for required course. I mean, more often than not. The AP Chem prep and physics prep, they were already obviously with our students, and they're designed by our teachers to help our students in that, but not that couldn't be an option. And those are in more of a blended format too,
Out of district,
which allows some flexibility as well. So the students aren't present every single day.
I think your point, I would just like to echo,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Okay.
And I do too. I think it's a good point. I just have a question. If in summer school, the courses obviously is condensed, I just question or wonder if a student that took up honors biology, would they even be prepared with such a condensed class to take the level up? Because I can't imagine, I know we have great teaching staff here but that you can get a full year into those 8 weeks. So that's the one thing that kind of.
We do it at my, that's how we get our AP Chem. Have honors chem in the summer, and then boom, they come into AP Chem.
Because he's an amazing teacher.
So. I don't teach summer school. These classes we're offering, I think, are phenomenal. But I just know how hard it is till you check off English and the requirements and the math and the fine arts and all the things that you may want to do, because high school is about finding out what you really enjoy. And so maybe you take a fine arts, you don't like it. Maybe you take a project lead the way and you don't like it. Well, at least you were able to try that class and say, okay, I'm going to focus on this instead. Where we have all these things, but they go, oh man, now I got to roll the dice almost. I want to try that one, because there's just no way to try 2 or 3.
I do want to point out, if we do expand, it's got to be slow, because our buildings for the next 2 summers are going to be insanely tight with the amount of construction going on. So although we have air conditioning, the amount of construction and work that will be happening in the next 2 summers with the master facility plan will limit the rate at which we could grow. I'm not saying we can't grow, but we just can't take off.
I realize
Yeah.
this is 2 years down the road. Till you get people to talk and think and strategize and plan, this is not going to happen this summer or maybe even next summer. I wasn't going there. I guess my point is, every year I sit on here and it seems like we look at summer school as credit recovery for the kids who maybe didn't have a good semester. And yeah, in the last couple of years, we've opened it up with prep classes for AP Chem and now AP Physics, but I just think there's more we can do here, especially now that our facilities are air conditioned. So you can't say, well, it's so hot, we can't have classes. The kids won't learn. And I understand that. You know, if it's 100 degrees in the classroom, there's no way you're going to teach for 5 hours. There's no way.
We have had this conversation before.
Oh, I have.
There are some other limitations to us being able to do this, as I recall.
Well, so when we've had this conversation, I've brought it back to the department. And the department has been in the process of revising some of its curriculum, which has created a little bit of a challenge for us in terms of thinking about summer. There are concerns, and I do understand other districts that do it, because our summer school it's not even 6 weeks anymore, it's 22 days. So it's a lot shorter. Yeah. And I wonder how many schools have that long. I don't know.
And maybe it'd only be, not every kid would go 8 weeks, maybe just that one core group of 15 or 20 going in from maybe honors chem then to AP Chem, or I don't know how it would work at AP Bio. I don't have any function, I have no relation at that, but I know from Chem, I think you probably could merge the 2.
I will definitely bring it back
I think,
to my department chairs.
You know, Rick, I think I fully support what you're suggesting here.
You sit down with your kids too. You've had to make some hard choices.
Absolutely. Well, and so 2 things with this. One, what I'm hearing from you is we have an opportunity to rethink summer school. Right? Yeah. Now that the facilities are air conditioned and there's a trend that backs up what you're suggesting here too. If we look at the reason for attendance for the last several years, there's been a nice trend upward. In the last 4 or 5 years, 25 to 30% or so of the students are taking it as an enrichment. And prior to that, it was the highest was 18%. So
I think that's those prep classes. That's those 2 prep classes.
And that's what. So, but there's an interest there, right? And the other piece of this is something that the kids are pressed. There are things that, I mean, my kids have wanted to take classes, and they haven't been able to because they didn't fit. And we are not in favor, my wife, are not in favor of our child not having a lunch period. But there are students that don't, and that's something hopefully going forward we can have a conversation about too, because I don't think it's in the best interest of the students to do that, and having another avenue to maybe take something over the summer might help to relieve some of that. And as well, I mean, there are colleges out there that you know, they've structured their whole, Cornell being a school that, you know, the students are taking one class at a time and really focusing on that. And this is an opportunity to do that as well, right? Potentially. So there's some opportunity with summer school that I'd like for our district to explore a little bit. And so I really fully support what Rick has brought this evening. And I appreciate the report. Things are going well, and you know, good plans for this for 2019.
So Gina, do you think you can come back in February or March just with like an update, not a fully scoped out program, just an update of having spoken with the.
Maybe get the beat of the street, you know, just kind of throw it out there and see. Maybe like a 2-year window, or, you know, by then most of the construction would probably be done.
By 2021, we should be starting to expand in the summer. 2020 is the year where both campuses are going to be pretty rough. Yeah. Because that's where the phases are overlapping. But after that, it should start to open up again.
Let's put this on the dreaded parking lot.
No, it won't go in the parking lot. No parking lot. Don't get worked on.
Oh, man.
Only Gina's active lot. No, there's no.
How do you feel about that?
Either we're working on it or we're not.
I know. We'll put it on the football field and let them.
Anything else to do with the summer school report and?
Nope.
I'm going to ask next year anyway at the same time, if I'm. 2 more times.
Okay, let's move on to the calendar then.
Calendar is very similar to the one we've brought the last couple of years with, as Gina mentioned, 4-day summer school days, but we're also shifting office hours around and restructuring the office so that the offices are closed on Fridays. This allows CMG and, when needed, our technology staff to come in and take care of things that we need to do with nobody on campus, and especially with the amount of construction we have going on. This will be very important to have those extra days where not just our CMG, but our construction crews now can have full access to the buildings. So it's worked well for us. We've been able to get all of the summer work done in those different restructured summer hours. So we're just bringing that same calendar forward.
I have a question, and it really doesn't have to do with the calendar, but what we were talking about before with summer school course, and I should know this, but I don't. The transition house, CSD99, is that open during the summers?
So for certain students with special ed, I should let Scott answer this, but we have extended school year programs and some programs in Transition 99, depending on the student, that extends that year across the summer to provide certain services. Scott, how would I do? You want to expand?
That's perfect. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
So, I mean, in theory then, if we did have a space constraint, we could theoretically use an alternate site.
Right, and that's
Not
things that
ideal,
we've talked
but
about before as well. Yeah, we could.
Or even
Yeah.
VASC. Yeah.
Or we could look at our other partners in the community, if
Yeah.
it's the Park District or another elementary school, or so those are things Gina and I have talked about as we look at the challenges of construction in the coming years.
Excellent.
Great. Any questions? Okay, master facility plan progress.
Right now, several meetings going on. We had meetings today to look at the exteriors of South and North. Much happier with how South came back. I'll be sharing that with the board later this week. North, we still have a couple of tweaks, but we expect we're hoping that maybe by the 17th we'll be able to bring some images, if not right after the first of the year, depending on how fast the architects are able to work on that. Really like how the exterior of the buildings are shaping up, though. We've also met several times about radio and TV at North and South and looked at how those programs will work and change and get pulled kind of into the common space so we can put that curriculum on display a little bit. And we've also had science STEM meetings at South looking at that second floor that's now included that we thought was going to be an optional kind of work into the plan that now with the, what is the what?
GMAX.
The GMAX contract. Thank you, Mark. With the GMAX contract, we know will fit within the budget, and we'll get that accomplished at South as well. So we met with representatives of both the math and science department this week at South to look at that space. And we continue to have lots of meetings on designs. We have a phasing meeting coming up next week or the week after.
Actually, Friday, I think.
Oh, this week. We have a phasing meeting coming up to make sure that Phase 1 this next summer, we know exactly what's going to fit into there, and we can start letting staff that will be impacted next summer know, because we have to pack stuff up and get things ready and all of those things, and then give everybody a general idea of the major stuff that will happen, or the areas that will be touched over the next 2 years, not in as much detail, but so that people can start prepping. So that's kind of where we're at.
Feedback from the village yet? Anything?
Yeah. Nothing. Nothing.
You can go there, Terry.
They're repairing mailboxes around the village, is what they're doing.
Well, I know we've already submitted some things.
Right, we expect January or February, and maybe to get some questions back in December, maybe?
Oh, okay. Sooner the better.
Yeah.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll move to our reception of visitors. This is an opportunity for audience members to address the board on any topic pertaining to Community High School District 99. Is there anybody who wishes to address the board? Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move that we adjourn.
Terry moves.
Second.
Sherelle seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.